today. Okay, so we will start off by just, thank you, Chris. Start off by just showing you a brief video of our director, who unfortunately can't be here today. Just a message from him.
The postgrad diploma in managing higher education systems is a very, very important development. As we know, our universities are run by academics and then by professional support staff. And we spend a lot of time and energy on the academic development, and rightly so. But I don't think we've given enough attention to the very complex organizations, financially, student services, sport, that is being run by our colleagues in the professional staff component. And I'm so happy to say that with this initiative, we hope that they will be empowered with knowledge, with best practice, with understanding policy, so that in these turbulent times for higher education in South Africa, we can create a professional cadre of staff so that we run our places as best as possible. Obviously, in the end, to the benefit of our students and obviously to the benefit of development of our country, South Africa. Welcome, and I hope you will join us in this program.
For those of you that watched the video is about the new stream in higher education management on the PGD BMA, which I will tell you a bit more about later on. First of all, we just want to discuss, and I know most of you know of USB's vision and mission and why you want to come here, but I'll just quickly tell you more about that. Our vision is to be globally distinguished as the business knowledge partner in Africa, and the mission is to develop responsible leaders through well-grounded business education and research. So in all our programs, you will see that we always have the theory to back up everything, and we put it through to the practical application. And leadership is definitely something, and responsible leadership that we stand for at the USB. Our values at the USB are the inclusivity. Sorry, struggling with this. Integrity, inclusivity, innovation, engagement, and excellence, and I will touch on those as we progress through the slides. Now, why do you want to come and study at the USB? As you know, we have three Crown accreditations. We have the Triple Crown accreditation, the AECSB, the EQUIS, and the AMBA accreditation. We definitely stand for leadership development, client engagement. We have a global perspective with the African contextualization. If you just look at that, the reputation, and here we touch on some of the issues that I mentioned in the previous slide. We were the first university in Africa to get the triple accreditation, and that is a very highly distinguished accreditation to get all three of them. And we are the only one of 89 business schools that have the triple accreditation. Networking, yes, we do network with top business schools, and we are also the top research university in Africa and globally acknowledged for that. We are part of main campus. So we are situated in Belleville, as you saw on our first slide, but we are part of the Stellenbosch University, situated in Stellenbosch University, in Stellenbosch City. Now, just a bit about our leadership development, especially if you progress to the MBA. After the PGD BMA, you will see that we really focus on developing responsible leaders, and the USB therefore goes beyond training managers. We develop leaders and global leaders for all African or for all industries, and we include a lot of African cases in our modules across all programs. Client engagement, yes, we definitely collaborate in class and with faculty, cultural and across countries. Business, we have guest lecturers coming in for classes, and we have a strong alumni association, which you can become part of once you've studied here. From a global perspective, we also have, as I said, 3 international accreditations. multiple membership, international memberships. Our faculty are diverse, and we have many faculty from all over the world, and students as well. In class, you will see, especially in the PGD program, on the blended program, we have many international students because of the format that we do present that in. And also our modules, global content, and also African studies. The African focus, we are proud of our African heritage, and we have African expertise from lecturers in our programs, and we bring that back to the class. Currently, we have students from 8 countries in Africa in our classes. If we look at our whole program host of the USB, you will see there the first block, the black one, is the one where we will focus on tonight. The PGD right at the bottom, our entrance level. Then you have the MBA, and after that you can progress to the PhD. Then to your right, you see the development finance programs, future study programs, manager as a coach, project management, leadership, and our financial planning program. But for tonight's presentation, we are focusing on the PGD BMA, the Postgraduate Diploma in Business Management and Administration. That program is a standalone program, but it can also provide you access to the MBA. So the PGD BMA was launched in 2015. This is our 3rd year that we're running it. We started off in 2015 with 1 cohort in a blended format. This was the first program at the USB and at the Stellenbosch where we fully run it on a local classroom concept, where you either sit in class or you sit anywhere across the globe and attend a class locally. In 2016, we had 2 cohorts with a modular group coming in for blocks during the year, and also our blended cohort. 2017, we also have 2 cohorts, and now for 2018, we are planning a new stream in PGD BMA, where we will actually have a 3rd cohort, namely the higher education stream. They will focus on the core subject of the PGD BMA, but branch off towards the end of the program to focus more on higher education. And I'll tell you more about that later on in the presentation. So yes, for PGD BMA, we have typically a generalist PGD BMA, and then the higher education stream as from next year, the PGD BMA. This program, the PGD BMA, we've received very good feedback from the market and also from students that are progressing to the MBA, finding that this program really provides you with a very good platform to do your MBA. And this program, if you use it as a standalone, provides you with excellent skills, management, and other innovative and entrepreneurial skills to apply in your workplace and in your life. What do you need, or what are the entrance requirements? This is like an honours degree, the PGD BMA, so you need a level 7 NQF to apply for this PGD BMA. You need work experience of at least 2 years, preferably on a management level, and then there's the normal entrance essays, selection tests, and your CVs that you need to upload. What is important for you to know is that there are closing dates. You need to apply for this program before the end of October if you apply for the generalist or the higher education program. And if you are an RPL, meaning recognized prior learning, you need to submit a month earlier, end of September. RPL means, as I think you are aware of, that you have not completed the tertiary education, but we do admit a certain percentage of our class in the RPL cohort or RPL entrance level, and you need 10 years work experience there. But you need to submit or apply earlier, end of September, for us to be able to complete that process, because part of that process is an interview, an individual interview that we need to have with you. Now, what is the focus of the program? This focus that you see here is our focus of the generalist PGD BMA, namely definitely digital, innovation, entrepreneurship. When we look at the stream, the higher education stream, it's only the 3rd one that falls away, the entrepreneurship, where we have the higher education management focus. What's important of this program is there's no master's thesis as in an MBA, so many students feel that they don't want to do a thesis, but they need all the management skills that a PGD BMA will provide them, you don't have a thesis in this program, and therefore it will be for students wanting that qualification without a thesis an attractive option. If we look at the program options, namely how do you attend class, you will see there are two options, either modular, where you come in for blocks, or blended. Now I'll first talk about the modular. Modular is applicable to the generalist PGD BMA only. The higher education is only on the blended format. So for modular, you come in for 4 study blocks during the year, comprising of being the Monday to the Saturday, those 4 blocks, and also a final block at the end of the year, which is a 7-day block from the Saturday till the Saturday. For the blended year, you follow a schedule where you have 2 blocks. The first one on campus, where you all learn about the USB system and more about your co-class members. And then you also have a final block, the elective block at the end of the year. Apart from those 2 blocks, you attend class once a week from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the afternoon. And that class attendance is the local classroom, which I will explain later on. Just for planning purposes for next year, the modular group will start on the 5th of February next year, while the blended block starts on the 15th of January already. So just thinking of those dates that I provide you, you will see that you actually don't have a 1-year program, but a 14-month program. You start preparing for this program in December already of the year before you study. We will provide you with the reading material, and you complete this program only in January in the 2nd year, because your electives in that final block will only be, the assignments of them will only be submitted in January in the 2nd year, and you will graduate in March in your 2nd year. So yes, there's a lot of preparation to be done before you start your classes in either January, 15th of January in the blended block, or on the 5th of February in the modular block. Most of our modules works like that you have pre-work, which counts about 20% of your grade, then you have a test and an assignment, each approximately counting towards 40% of your grade. So the pre-work is important, a lot of effort needed for that, and there are grades attached to that. So you can't just pitch up in January or February and think, now I'm going to start this program. There is a lot of preparation to do in advance. Just looking at the format, the one that's probably new to you is the local classroom. Local classroom does not mean it's an online course. Our blended format uses the local classroom, which means you attend class in the online classroom, either by sitting here or from your computer, wherever you are. But you need to attend the class, you participate in the class, you have a chat allocation where you can post questions, and you therefore do form part of the class discussions and group work in the class. I don't know whether you can see the next slide, the small slide that's coming up now. It's just an example of a student sitting there in an area where one would normally not think that you will be able to attend class. So you do need good internet access to be able to be in this blended group. Looking at the modules, you will see the modules that we follow in this program. We start off with a digital quotient, where we learn about the digital environment, especially how you function in that environment. Then the other 4, the next 4 modules are the modules that's also part of the MBA program. So when you progress to the MBA, if you choose to do that, those modules have already been completed by you. You therefore get credit on the MBA for those 4 modules, and you don't pay for them again on the MBA. The 4 modules that are in the MBA as well is economic for managers, human capital development, which forms the basic platform for our leadership on MBA, managerial statistics, and managerial accounting. Now, when you look at those modules, 2 of them are very numeric. Many people struggle with that, but we have good electronic textbooks with learning material that helps you and guides you to understand the principles of those numeric subjects. Then there's systems methods, information systems principles, marketing management, principles of operation, sustainable enterprise, which is all about ethics and social responsibility, and then innovation management, and finally our capstone module, the entrepreneurship. The electives which are listed there are the ones that you take in the final block. So you choose 3 of the 4 electives, and those electives are future studies, manager as a coach, project management, and risk management. When you choose project management, you only need to choose 1 other elective because project management counts towards 2 electives because it's a bigger module than the others. So here you can see the content of what is taken in the generalist PGD BMA. If you compare this to the higher education PGD BMA, there are a few modules that falls away, namely the information systems principles, the innovation and the entrepreneurship falls away and is substituted with higher education modules. And I'll show you that as we progress towards the end of the slides. I'm going to discuss the higher education specialization. So for the generalist, these are the modules that you take. For the higher education, there is a focus towards the end of the program on higher education, and some of our generalist modules then falls away. What does it take to do this? Now, Amor sitting next to me will be able to tell you what it takes. It takes a lot of hard work, many hours, a lot of preparation, and we will come back to that towards the end, and she will also provide you with inputs on that. Just quickly, I don't know how many of you attending this session is interested in the higher education stream. We launched that last week, Monday, and I just quickly want to tell you, if you didn't hear about that before, how that works, and if there are people out there that you feel would be interested, that you can also tell them about this. The first intake is next year, and the mode, as I said, is only in the blended format. Who do we target? We target middle and senior management in public and private higher education. Typically not people teaching, but that can also be teaching, many of them in a management position in higher education. There's definitely a gap in the market, and there's no other university in South Africa that's presenting a program like this. Now, if we look at the modules in this specialization stream, you take 9 of the 12 core modules, meaning the 3 that you are not taking are the information systems principles, the innovation management, and the entrepreneurship. So the 3 modules that you don't do from the generalist PGD BMA, plus the 3 electives that you don't do on the PGD BMA generalist, then makes up for 6 stream-specific modules that you will take. These are higher education perspectives, higher education policy and frameworks, higher education diversity and equity, human capital or human development and learning theory, higher education internationalization, and higher education governance. So again, as we have seen previously on the generalist curriculum, we have core modules, including those that carry over to the MBA. So you again see the economic for managers, human capital, managerial statistics, and managerial accounting. And then, after systems methods, you've got your first specialization, namely higher education perspectives. And towards the end, you finish off with higher education policy and frameworks, diversity and equity, human development, higher education governance, and higher education internationalization. So what typically will happen in the higher education stream is that you are part of the generalist group for the first block on campus, learning or getting to know other students from different fields, learning from their experiences, and being in class with them for 9 of the 12 core modules. And then in your specialization, in 6 of your modules, you will work as a higher education group working together in your blended environment, class environment, for higher education perspectives and higher education policy and frameworks, while the final 4 modules will form part of your elective or your final week on campus. So do remember, if you want to apply for the higher education stream, this is only in the blended format, but it means you are on campus 1 week in the beginning of the year with all other students and 1 week at the end of the year with your higher education stream students. And in between those 2 blocks, you have your 1 evening in the week's classes from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now, whether you do the generalist or the higher education management, it takes a lot of hours, 240 hours just sitting in class, and then your pre-work and preparation for tests and assignments, another 18 to 22 hours per week. I think the main thing to know when you do this program is you need to plan. There are deadlines that you need to meet because we only have a few submissions per module. There's quizzes, there's an assignment, there's a test. You can't miss any of those because then you will not pass. If you don't pass, you need to repeat a subject and you don't want to do that. So that's the one thing, the planning. And the other thing is most of the things are, or the deliveries are online. You submit quizzes online, you write your tests online, you submit your assignment online. Group work in many instances done online, especially in the blended environment. So make sure that you have the correct equipment, computer, internet access, all of that to be able to work in an online environment. Even in the modular group, remember your tests are online, your assignments submitted online. So you need to be able to do that from a remote location. And something that I think students sometimes struggle with is they forget that if you write a test online, there's no paper to write on. You need to be able to type. So if you do have time now, while waiting for your application to be approved, look at online courses where you can learn a bit about typing just to help yourself in the online environment. Maybe most of you are well equipped to do that, but if you are not, there is something there that you can work on. So what are the benefits when you do this program? We do believe that this program will really help you to start or manage an entrepreneurial venture. You can use the digital technology to collaborate, apply the innovation in your business and to solve business problems, identify independence in business problems, and just apply general management skills as well. And what I can add to that is, if you do the higher education, definitely you will have a lot of in-depth knowledge of higher education to be able to contribute to the higher education industry and to society at large. So this was just an overview of the program itself. I think what we should do now is just ask Amore Strauss to give a brief feedback to you on how she experienced the PGD BMA last year, what she has learned from it and what she's taken forward with her. And I think you would be able to relate a lot to what she says, and then you can pose questions either to me or to Amore.
Hi, can you maybe indicate if you can hear me? Great. Hi everybody. Yes, so I studied the PGD last year and it was quite an experience. Nicoline didn't mention that it is quite a challenging course, and it really, really is. But what I really feel about it is that it's important that it's challenging because it makes you proud of your qualification once you receive it. And I've taken a break, hopefully continuing my MBA soon, but in between, I've already been able to apply most of the skills that I've learned, and I learned so much. I actually came from a design industry. I'm not a traditional business school type student, and every single subject that I had to learn here was 100% new, and it was just knowledge all the time, all over. And what she also didn't mention is that you need to read a lot. The reading work is quite substantial, but it is the most interesting textbooks, and at the moment I still refer to them when I have problems at work and I need to resolve issues with staff or any managerial type of problems, thinking of innovative solutions to solve problems. That is quite helpful, and I refer to the textbooks a lot. What I can also say is that the type of subjects that this course has is different, unique, and interesting because you don't normally expect it. You expect accounting and statistics, and they are quite challenging, but you also feel proud when you get through them. But the subjects like innovation management, sustainable enterprise, systems methods, those are the subjects that you don't expect to learn, and that really blew my mind. It opened so many thinking processes, and it made me realize that there are things that I thought I was aware of that I wasn't aware of at all. And now you can integrate all the different subjects. You can call them soft and hard subjects, but integrate them together to form a complex solution to a complex problem, which is really, really very, very helpful. Apart from that, the experience was just generally nice. The staff, very, very helpful. There's you can call her like a mommy of the course. Her name is Edwina, and she basically looks after the class as a whole. So when you have problems, you go and chat to her. You don't have to speak to the lecturers all the time. She can sort out all the admin problems and stuff, if there are any. And then the class also had a fantastic dynamic because of all the diversity. It was really, really nice having people in your class from all over the world, and to collaborate with them on a daily basis was really fantastic. So yeah, I'm like a red for it, you can see. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let us know.
Chris, do you have any questions? So you can ask us if there's anything. Okay, there's Greta. Do you have an indication of textbook costs? Okay, now what is the age of the oldest student in class on average? Let's first do the age one. The age one, there's students in their 50s, there's students in their 20s. Most of the class is here between 30 and 39, around 30. Cost of the textbooks, many of the textbooks are included in the cost. We are currently looking at the cost options for next year, maybe including all of those textbooks in your cost, but that has not yet been finalized. So students for 2017 don't pay for the modules that are part of the MBA, the 4 modules. Textbooks, but they do pay for the others, but we are looking into the options for next year on the costing. How are group assignments managed? Well, you are allocated into groups, and then you as a group need to work out your dynamics to be able to share the work in a group, and I think Amorei will be more helpful there to say what the group really does to get everybody participating. We also have a system, especially from this year, where we have on each group assignment, when you submit, there's only one member that can submit the whole group's assignment. And there's a cover page where you need to indicate whether each group member has contributed 100% or not. If not, then you allocate a different percentage, and that percentage is then applied to the group mark for that person. So the group members need to agree that 1 or 2 of them didn't pull their weight, and then that person gets a lower weight, grade than the rest. Amorei, do you want to say something about the group assignment?
All I can say is that naturally group assignments are more challenging than individual assignments for the pure fact that you've got that additional dynamic. But it is very important because in the workplace you very rarely work on your own, and you always have to work with the different dynamics. So normally the group sorts themselves out to find the leader who will submit the document, the one who's better at writing, who's better at reading, who's better at whatever, and then split the work accordingly. What was quite nice about the course that I didn't mention previously is that the students have different specialization fields. Not everybody's an accountant or everybody's an engineer or whatever your specialization. So what was really nice is that you can contribute your skills when you maybe work in the subject that's more your skill. And in the next project, you then don't know what it's about, and you can learn from your peers again. So there's a lot of to and froing with that.
Yes, many students do progress to the MBA. I see that's the next question. What has happened was the MBA for this year is the first time that they have a blended MBA. So we found that some of our 2016 students who wanted to do MBA waited for a year for them to now also do the MBA this year for on the MBA blended format. So many of them progressed to the MBA, and some of them have waited a year to be able to be part of the blended class. This year, the blended class, I think there are 55 students, and 22 of them comes from the PGD BMA, some from the 2015 and some from the 2016 group. But in each cohort, there are at least 5 to 10 students from the PGD BMA. So because we have a new program, we only have 2 years stats on who progressed, and some of them waited. So yes, a lot of them do. And what you may have seen in the guidelines or the information of this program is when you do the PGD BMA and you have an average of 65%, then you are automatically accepted into the MBA. That stands for 5 years. So some of our students wait till they are ready, like Amore, when they feel they are ready, and then they can automatically be part of the MBA program without any other admission tests. If you don't have that 65% average, then you apply like any normal student will apply with normal admission tests. So yes, a 65% average gives you access to the MBA for at least 5 years. Any other questions that you may have? So we'll give you another 3 minutes if you want to post more questions, and otherwise we will be done here. Is there a person writing a question? Okay. I noticed the price on the web is subject to change. When will the fees be confirmed? I don't have the final answer for you on that. I assume that the price has now been confirmed on the web. If it's not the case, we will notify you. I'll just check that they changed it to subject, or take away the subject to change from the web. But as far as I understand, that price is final. If there's no more questions, is it fine that we end this session? I'll give you a minute. If you still have something that you want to post, that you can quickly post that. In any other instance, then I just want to say thank you for your attendance, and we hope that you apply soon. Remember that the applications close on the end of September for RPL students and end of October for the other students. Let me just see. Yes, you will receive a copy. Everybody that's attending online will receive a copy of the webinar. So you will receive that, I think, tomorrow already. You will receive a copy. a few days you will receive a copy of the webinar. So yes, please, as I said, do apply end of September, end of October, our deadlines. If you are an RPL student, I will arrange an interview with you. And at the beginning of December, everybody will know whether they have been admitted or not. And beginning of December, we will also distribute our reading materials, provide you access to the Learning Hub so that you can start preparing for next year. Thank you for you as well. Thank you. So if there's I think there's another question. I'll wait for you as well. Okay. Thanks, Greta. Thank you. So I hope to receive your application soon. Just a last bit of information. If you have any queries after today, you can contact Frances Meyer. She is here in the hall with us. Her telephone number is 918-4246. So Frances Meyer, if you have any specific queries, I think your query on the cost can also be confirmed with Frances.